So there we were, up in Andorra, Jack and I, in a coffee shop. Really nice little town in Andorra, surrounded by mountains, lots of snow, just a great atmosphere. And who should we bump into in Two Shots Café but Martijn Wydaeghe, the reigning world champion co-driver. We started to chat and then I thought, no, we got to record this. This is brilliant stuff. So even if you're not into rallying, I think you will really, really enjoy this. The first question I asked him, was about him being, not being the largest guy on the planet Earth.
I think my engineers are very happy about it because, they can decide where they put the weight because obviously we are underweight with the crew. So we need to add some ballast in the car. And like this, Thierry and the engineers can decide where they put the ballast, and it can help the handling of the car in certain rallies. So it's also good for my own physique. If you are light, it's if you have an impact, it's less important on your body if you are a little bit more light. So it's only an advantage in my job to be light.
How do you get on with other co-drivers, and do you ever share basic stage information with them?
Let's say that I have like 4 or 5 co-drivers in the world championship that I really are like friends with. We are doing activities together. But that's more outside the competition. When we are in the competition, I'm focused on my job, on the job with Thierry, but also with the team. And most of my friends are driving for Toyota. So it's a little bit difficult sometimes to make things separate. And a good example of that is last week in Kenya, we were running into trouble, and like Jonna, the co-driver of Kalle, came to take pictures from our engine bay, and I was quite upset. So I pushed him away and said, hey, come on, don't do that. And he said, yeah, it's only my job. So, and after the rally, we could talk about it, and we don't have hard feelings. But that's a good example. Like, we really separated things. And even today, I was chatting with him about some projects. We are going together on a trip in Peru, in between Rally Paraguay and Chile later on this year. So we have a good relationship. But once we are in the competition, then I don't have friends, and I only have competitors against me.
At the start of a stage, how do you decide the rate at which you'll be giving Terry his pace notes?
Depends of so many different factors. I mean, you have stage conditions, you have weather conditions, you have the profile of the stage. It's obvious that, for example, in Finland, I'm reading much faster than in Monte Carlo. If you're driving with slicks on ice, you have a very slow speed. In Finland, you are flat out all the time, so you need to adapt. But for example, also in Kenya last week, suddenly the rain is coming, so you go from a high grip to a very low grip. So I need to adapt my speed of giving the notes. I also try in especially in this rally to keep away my eyes from the notes and look forward to see the road conditions, because sometimes I can watch a little bit further than Thierry and I can see a stone coming or whatever. So um, you need to adapt so quickly to this kind of things, and it's not always easy, but the rhythm is not the same. Like, stage from stage is changing, so it's up to me to adapt. And I can also feel if I need to push a little bit more Thierry, or if I need to like slow him down a little bit. If I feel that we are over the pace, then I slow him down a little bit. Like to say like take care now, because there is like a difficult section coming, or and if I really feel that this is not helping, I'm reading a little bit slower. So he need to adapt to me as well. But that's not very necessary. I'm also a human, and we can make mistakes. As Thierry made mistakes, I also make mistakes, and the team is making mistakes. So this can happen, but at the end, the result last year was good.
From a global perspective, you're in a unique position to work a few centimeters away from one of the great drivers. This is very special.
It is, and it's also very, very important that you have the feeling of each other, that you know in what situation you are reacting and how I should react to keep Thierry calm, and also opposite way, because in rally it's not always very smooth. So you can have technical problems. You need to know, okay, Thierry will do that, I will do this, and he knows that he don't have to ask me to do something, because he know, okay, Martijn will take care of that, I will do that, and then we will have a solution. So you really need this teamwork to like to make this puzzle one, and then it's working. If you don't have this feeling for each other, then it's much more complex to achieve good results. Unfortunately, we have the experience in Kenya that every year when the rain starts to come, we have mist on the windscreen, and somehow our heating system is not strong enough for this, and you need to find solutions. And if we cannot find a solution like technically, then we have to come up with the stupid things, but it's helping. So before the event already, and actually we had it already last year, we got it already. Before the event on the test, we said we need something good to be prepared, and I got it with me. And if we saw at the start that the rain was coming, I just put it under my leg and I was ready to wipe it. So I have like my co-driver bag like right under my legs, and it's really accessible. So I just can take it out and start to use it. But you need to think about it to be prepared, because if it is too far away, you cannot stop on the stage to untighten the seat belt and to take this, because you don't want this extra time loss. But these are small things that can make a big difference, and yeah, this is all part of our preparation, let's say.
You live this frenetic life. What's your office look like at home here in Andorra?
It's not massive. It's a small office, and it's very clean.
Very clean.
Very clean. There is nothing around, and this is how I like to work. I have many folders on my laptop, and everything is really well organized. And as soon, like 3-4 months before the event, we start to have information from the organizer and from the team. So I store this document. I have a first quick look, like to see if we need to report something to the organizer, like in the timing, like okay, this can work, this will not work. We start to give our first feedback already when they publish this the first timing. Then I also have a look if it is the same event like as last year, like for example Portugal. Okay, what stages are the same? Or the new stages? Can I recover notes from the previous editions? And that work starts already 3-4 months before the event. For example, now with Islas Canarias, it's a new event, but Thierry has done it in 2011, 10 and 11, and it has been part of the European Championship in the last 3 years. So I make also comparisons, like the stages that are identical to last year and to 23 in the European Championship, because we have also onboard footage available from Rally TV, and this can help us to learn the stages already a little bit, to see how the grip is, the profile, because this is the only footage that we can have. The organizer is also like publishing videos, but this isn't just filmed with a normal road car, so you have less indication of speed. And this is all work that goes into 3 months prior to the event. And the closer we get to the event, the closer we also get to the pre-event testing. And then you start to really receive the information from the team, like setup-wise. This is something I'm not really involved in. I'm following it, but it's more Thierry that is deciding together with the engineer what way they want to go, what would be the base setup, and what kind of things they want to test. But yeah, like I said, I'm not so much involved in the technical setup of the car. So my job is really to make the stage comparisons, to prepare the notes from last year, to make recce plans, to make the timing of the week as well, because every minute we can gain to rest and to work on the videos is advantage for us. So if I go to the event, I have my planning for the whole week in my head, and if Thierry asks what will happen now, I can give him a straight answer. I can say like, now you have 10 minutes to rest. You need to go to that for a media thing, or you have 2 hours now to do the videos. I'm managing him together with our assistant Florian, and these are things that we discuss before the event as well. Like, okay, I will take care of that, you will do that, and we are now 3 weeks prior to Islas Canarias.
Yeah.
But actually, I have done already like the stage comparison, like last weekend of last week for Portugal, because you need to take some advantage somehow. Because after Islas Canarias, I have 1 week only for the pre-event test, but in that 1 week, we are traveling to Saudi Arabia for the candidate event, so I don't have a time to prepare my Portugal test after Islas Canarias. So yeah, it's a kind of a planning, and it's difficult to explain, but somehow I feel really relaxed to to just do it, and I'm never late with this kind of things. Like I this morning I was traveling with the plane and with the train and with the taxi from Toulouse to here, so I had in total like 5 hours that I was sitting in the plane and in the shuttle, and it's 5 hours that I was working on timing comparisons. Yeah, every minute of my life, I try to be well organized. So if I come here, I can also have a rest. Yeah, on a day like today, I would then prefer to in the morning to just go to the gym for 1.5 hours, and then the rest of the day I will take time to be in the office and just work. And then if tomorrow the sun is back, I take my bike and I go out for a 4 hour training. So it depends. I'm not planning this kind of days like way in advance, because so many factors are like changing the calendar all the time. But the most important is that you find a good balance between like work and recovery from the rally, because like last week I was sick after Kenya for 3-4 days, and I was not able to do any physical training. I was working a little bit in the office, but yeah, I had even difficulties to focus. So then your planning is anyhow disturbed about.
Are your stage notes unique? Could 10x notes work for Terry, for example?
No, no, no. First of all, the language is completely different, but also the system is completely different. I think our system, we are the only one in the world using this system. It's very particular. It's with speed indication, and no one else is using this kind of system, because many drivers, like many people know Colin McRae, you know, the video game, and they are using a system from 1 to 6 or 1 to 10 or whatever, where 1 is the fastest or the slowest corner. You can do it in both ways.
Yeah.
But for us, we are really like using a speed indication. If I say like ride 140, it means that we can go into the corner with 140 kilometers an hour. Um, but next to that, we have also like length integrated in that same pace node. So if I will say ride 146, that will mean a corner of at 140 kilometers per hour during 60 meters. So, and that's why this system is quite unique, and nobody else is using it, because it's quite complex. But on the other hand, if you understand it very well, it gives you a lot of confidence. But to make this kind of pace notes, you need so much experience. You need to know, okay, my car is able to do this kind of speed in this kind of corner. So it's not easy.
Wow. And you're not looking at a speedometer, of course. So Terry can feel the difference between, say, 138 kilometers an hour and 141 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, he will feel. And that's why sometimes if if we have trouble during recce, if we cannot drive like a correct speed on the recce of the stages, that's really a mess for us, because we are used to drive 80 kilometer per hour on recce. So we have the feeling like, okay, this corner will go so quick, and we have also the same car every recce again, and all these things are so important to be consistent and to imagine how fast we can go in the corners. So we are driving at 70, 80 kilometer per hour, and then Thierry watch the corner, watch the environment, the exterior of the corner, the inside of the corner, and then he make a decision. Okay, this corner will be that speed for every corner again. And sometimes we have we have some long stages where you have many corners. So
Would, for example, Seb Ogier or Elfyn Evans use this system?
no, Oje have a different system. He's working with angle, as Elvin is working with the numbers 1 to 6 or 1 to 8. Formeau is the same system as Auger. Like the French drivers, they all have a little bit the same system. They all copied a little bit Sebastian Loeb, and they have been quite successful with it. But it's
And when you say angles, I presume you mean angles to the apex, right?
yeah, exactly. But I mean, every driver need to decide for himself what is working for him.
Yeah.
If you think that you can make pace notes with colors, that can also work. If you say left red and a right blue, and you know that the blue is in third or fourth gear and the red is in first gear, that can also work. I mean, it's your imagination and your own language that you create. So if something is working for you and you feel confident, then you can go fast. But you need to really understand, if you say something or you write something down and your co-driver is talking this language to you, you don't have to think about it. It's coming in and you do a reaction immediately. And this is the magic of pace notes and rallying.
Magic indeed. And you with a very different sort of driver too.
Exactly, but you need more details. You need also length of the corner, the width of the road, because he needs to know, okay, can I throw the car or do I need to be very neat? So it's all this kind of information that will decide how much attack Thierry will put in that one corner to go as quick as possible without going off road. So it's not easy, but if things are coming together, then also for me it's a magical feeling to just give the pace notes. I know how the car will react. I know exactly, if I say a pace note, how Thierry will handle the car, and if I see that there is something not going as I imagined, then I know, okay, we will be in trouble. And I can feel it before something is touched or whatever. I feel when something is going wrong or when it is going very well as well. So yeah, that's for that you need experience and working a long time together. But that feeling, if everything is coming together, it's, even if I explain this, I have goosebumps because it's something. It's
Do you prepare the same pace notes for the smaller stadium super stages?
even for this small, easy stages.
Yes.
We have seen in the past that on the small, easy stages, a lot of mistakes has happened. So it requires full focus and the same dedication as for every normal stage, let's say. And yeah, at the end they are also counting for results. So yeah, it's really important.
Can Terry be speed precise in cyberspace, or do you have to be on the recce physically to do that?
If the stages are similar to last year, we recover the pace notes. I put them online on in the cloud, and Thierry has access to them. And together with the onboards from last year, he's watching, analyzing, and try to improve the pace notes already for this year's edition. So if we go to gravel roads, it's not always easy, but it's a really good way to prepare your rally, to have the stages fresh in mind. If you go then to the recce, you know, okay, I need to pay attention in this section because last year the pace notes were not that good. There was a crash or there were big stones or whatever. It's really important to prepare your rally in these small details to try to improve for the next edition. Like 1 week before the event, we are really focused on the next rally, and we are having a chat almost every day about what's coming up, about the stages he has prepared already, and that's the same for me. I'm not changing the pace notes, but I'm analyzing the onboards from last year also to see where I can improve, where we can improve as a team. Also to give feedback to the engineers, like, remember in that stage this happened, so maybe we should go higher with the tire pressure, or it's these small things of preparation, but that can make a big difference in in this year's edition.
In general, how far in advance of a corner are you giving the pace notes to Terry?
One corner before,
Okay.
not much more. Thierry likes to have the notes as late as possible, but early enough to have the information. Yeah. But for example, in Finland, and you have done the co-drive with him last year, you know that the speed is so high. So then I need to adapt also my speed to give enough advantage to him. So he know if we're coming from a flat out section and I say for 150 brake T-junction left, this you cannot say if he is out of the previous corner, because then he cannot brake anymore in this 150 meters. So this needs to come together then. But yeah, that's experience to know how much in advance you should be.
What's it like for you when you're in the air, when you're jumping?
Yeah, I keep talking, and sometimes when we land, I stop talking because my breath is taking away.
You had a big jump in Kenya, right?
Yes, yeah, we had a massive jump, and it's actually funny because it's a very fast section. So I remember still the pace now. It's 700-meter jump, 400-meter flat out over crest, 300-meter flat out over crest, and 250-meter after that for a slower right left corner. And so I said to him, not too crazy over the jump, please. But we went.
You say that?
Yeah, we went on an angle.
I saw the angle.
Yeah, it was crazy. And actually, so I say, jump 5 minus it was. So it's in fifth gear, but not flat out. So we stay fifth gear, not flat out. But we were jumping, taking off, and I said 400 flat crest, and then we start to laugh because it was just an amazing feeling to be in the car flying over there in between the giraffes, and it's just amazing.
Landing on sort of one wheel almost.
Yeah, then you have a big impact, but somehow it was funny, and then we start to laugh. But some other jumps are quite painful, like in Finland sometimes. If you just jump a little bit too far and you're landing on the next jump on top of it, and you hit with the chassis, then the impact can be very tough for the body.
Are the roadside repairs, the tire changes, and the complete rebuilds a necessary evil?
There is no worst part of my job actually, because even these moments, they are quite special. Because this setbacks create like your strength inside the team. And we know that in these moments, I'm the person that stay always as calm as possible to support Thierry and to find a quick solution. And it has worked like in the past 4 years, always very well. And I know this is the strength of our team, that in every situation we find a solution, and most of the time we can continue. So we always find a solution, and you know that it can be challenging, but also if we have a technical problem, I always confident that Thierry will find a solution, because on the technical side, Thierry is very strong. It's a little bit my weak point, but at the other side, I know how I can support him. And so that's why it is working always very good together. So he's the technical brain, and I'm the logistic brain, let's say.
Wow.
Okay, some other guys are really strong as well, like Elfin Evans. He's a really good mechanic. Oit as well. I mean, Thierry is really strong in trying to survive and finding solution. And sometimes we kept going, and you cannot imagine how we did it. And so I would say, even if it is a hard time for us, like last week in Kenya, I'm always confident that we will get there. And okay, we had some time loss and some time penalties, but at the end of the race, we are still in the game and we are still fighting for good positions. And this kind of results gives you so much confidence for the future, and you know that you will find a solution, and you can continue. So mentally, it's also good to always get stronger out of this setbacks.
Has winning the World Championship changed the way you go about things at all?
In operation, no, because our approach has been the same I would say the last 2 years. and especially last year, we had the ambition to fight for the championship, and our mind was set to not always go for the maximum, but manage our championship. And this year has been the same. We had a difficult start in Monte Carlo, and even if it is not going as you want, you don't try to force the things. And maybe since we got the championship last year, maybe it even add a little bit more of freedom, to not be stressed so much about it, and just go with the flow. And if things are not going as you want, and you are underperforming a bit because you don't have the car and the setup or the knowledge about the tires to go for a top result, then you just accept that you are a little bit behind the others, and you wait for the good moment to go a little bit more. And last year this approach worked very well, and this year so far, it's also working. We knew in after the first day already in Kenya that it would be a very difficult weekend, but we kept going and we were not forcing the things. And especially on the Sunday, you are driving not at 100% because you know that the car can be in difficulties like whenever, whatever moment. And I think last year we were already very strong in this, but the achievement of last year just helped to be a little bit more relaxed even in this kind of situations. And I'm very confident that throughout this year 25 that it will still help us to stay calm and to see things in a certain perspective, to help us to just not force the things.
No question that it's a unique motorsport synergy, this driver and co-driver relationship. What's it like to be a part of that?
We communicate almost every day.
Do you?
We have a WhatsApp group together with Florian, our assistant, and I would say every day something is shared in this group, and it's not always related to rally. It can also be a stupid clip or a reel that we saw on Instagram, or just some fun. But it can also be job related and important information to prepare the next event or some logistic organization. But I would say most of the time I need only a half of a word to know what he means and to know what I have to do, and the same for him. So I would say that our cooperation is working like it should, and it's like a train on rails, and it's just going. And we are not alone, and because this is important for the people to know as well, that it's not only about Thierry and myself. I mentioned already Florian. He's the guy. If you're in competition, he's always with us in the rallies, and he's arranging the things, stupid things as our backpack or our charger at midday to charge the phone, or preparing the food. It gives you a very proud feeling that you achieve something like that, to achieve a work relationship with somebody else that you didn't know before, but you achieve something and you build up something like that together. And that's something to be proud of, because it's exceptional. And I think even if we go out of the rally and we go to a different sports, inside motorsport or outside motorsport, and we do things together, or a different business, and we are still working together, we will also be successful, because you know each other personalities so well, because you are spending so many hours and so many days a year together, that you know each other so well that you can do whatever you want together and you will be successful. And this is a nice story, actually. At the end of the day, you want your own small personal bubble as well, and it's good. At the end of the day, I have my own habits. Thierry has his own habits, and you need this kind of rest to get charged for the next day, and then you need your private environment.
You keep very fit and eat well, obviously, but the travel and the workload must be a massive stress on your immune system.
Yeah, because actually the last couple of weeks I've been struggling with this kind of things. I came out of the winter period where we were celebrating our title, where I couldn't find so much time for sports and so on. So I was not in a perfect physical condition to start the season, actually. And then you go to Monte Carlo, which is a long and tough event for the body, and you have not so much sleep. You go to Sweden, where it is very cold, and somehow in between the two events, I catch the virus. And during Sweden, I was suffering a lot because I was sick. I was staying in bed like after recce all evenings with high fever, and some strong medicines got me through. And now those days the viruses are staying in the body like way longer than would say before COVID period. And then you go to the heat in Africa, where other viruses are going around, other bacteria is going around, and also I catch something there. So I'm actually still struggling a little bit with the health at the moment. So it's quite difficult because you want to push your body to still exercise and to stay fit, but sometimes you just need to stay calm and recover. And for me, that's not easy to accept because I want to do my training and I want to push forward. But now I understood that last week. I just when I came back from Kenya, I was just laying in the sofa doing nothing at all because that was the only way to recover, and I can feel some improvement now. So the upcoming days, sports is not a good moment yet, and I need some more time now to get prepared for the next event. But it's true that this kind of thing that the people don't see, that it requires so much effort from our body as well, and that you need to be prepared for this kind of things as well.
What sort of music do you play in the car during recce road sections when you got a bit of time?
Let's say that our window of music is very wide, and we can listen together to classic music, Mozart or Bach or whatever. We are quite easygoing for that.
A big thanks to the World Rally Championship, WRC, to Hyundai Motorsport, to Red Bull, to Two Shots Café Andorra, to Martijn Wydaeghe and Terry Neuville, and to our partners, to Jetcraft, to OEM Exclusive, and to TrackNinja. Music by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.